We go to Nicaragua. The president of Iran, Ibrahim Raisi, closes his official visit with a sign of important agreements at the iconic Olof Palme Convention Center. Let's see.
In the agenda, in the reunions, in the bilateral reunions,
امروز در جلسات تخصصی بین همکاران مورد بحث و بررسی قرار گرفت.
And as a result, we found a will, the will to advance in all these subjects, advance all these points.
در نتیجه این جلسات متوجه شدیم که از طرف حضرت عالی و از طرف کشورتون ایران این اراده و آمادگی وجود داره برای اینکه در تمام این موضوعات همکاری مشترک گام‌های رو به جلو برداریم.
This has allowed that there has been three memorandums that were agreed. The first memorandum of understanding, that is the base memorandum of these steps that we are going to keep developing. It is the one that has to do with the creation of the intergovernmental measure. Towards the economic trade and cooperation and interchange in the economic between the governments of Nicaragua and of Iran.
برقراری توسعه روابط اقتصادی و تجاری و تبادلات علمی و فنی بین دولت‌های نیکاراگوئه و جمهوری اسلامی ایران به امضا خواهد رسید.
The second memorandum that has been signed is the one that it has to do with the subject of power, of the justice of power, the Supreme Court of the Republic of Iran of Nicaragua.
موضوع دوم یادداشت تفاهم دوم همکاری مربوط به همکاری‌های قضایی بین دیوان‌های عالی دادگستری هر دو کشور هست.
And the third memorandum is that the one that it has to do with medicines, with the equipments, and with the medicine supplies of the laboratories and the pharmaceutical, between the Ministry of Health and Education of Republic of Iran and the Health Minister of Nicaragua.
مربوط هست به موضوع دارو، تجهیزات پزشکی و محصولات دارویی داروخانه‌ها و آزمایشگاه‌ها که بین وزارت بهداشت، درمان و آموزش پزشکی جمهوری اسلامی ایران و وزارت بهداشت نیکاراگوئه به امضا خواهد رسید.
What we're talking about is of an agenda that it has the creation of the Joint Commission between Iran and Nicaragua, and that's it has a roadmap that is the approaching of these people, or the people, of our institutions, with benefits of all, benefiting in the fields, in the economic, trade, and the science fields.
قرار ما امضا بکنیم مربوط به ایجاد کمیسیون مشترک بین نیکاراگوئه و ایران هستند که مسیر را برای نزدیکی بیشتر بین دو ملت و نهادهای دو کشور در راستای توسعه اقتصادی و تجاری و تعمیر و افزایش تبادلات فنی و علمی هموار خواهد کرد.
These are subjects that are very sensitive to family, to people, to the workers, to the development.
و اینها موضوعات حساس و حائز اهمیت برای خانواده ها، برای دو ملت، برای کارمندان و کارگران و در کل برای توسعه دو کشور هست.
There is also what we talked about, the note to interchange information, to change information, that is, and trace a way that would allow us to establish relationship between Iran and Nicaragua within the framework of an agreement of free trade.
همچنین صورت جلسه‌ای به امضا خواهد رسید برای تبادل اطلاعات و ترسیم نقشه راه که امکان برقراری روابط بین ایران و نیکاراگوئه در چارچوب یک پیمان تجارت آزاد را فراهم کند.
And here we are talking about the result of your visits, and that it threatens the relationships within our people.
مسائلی که عنوان شد نتایج بازدید شما از کشور ما بوده که منجر به پیشبرد و تقویت بیشتر روابط دو کشور خواهد شد.
Another subject that we talked about yesterday with you and with your minister is that, and that is also being dealt with today, is that there are subjects that we need to keep talking about. As well as in your visits, in your representative towards Iran, to keep talking about these subjects and to create the conditions to have more agreements.
که و امروز هم در جلسات بهش پرداخته شد، باید همچنان روش کار بشه. هیئت ما یک سفری باز دوستان ما به ایران انجام بدن برای اینکه با کار مشترک با هم زمینه را ایجاد بکنیم برای همکاری در این حوزه.
We are here, and it is very clear within these subjects that there is the will. There is the will to talk about the subjects that are already deal with.
اراده کامل از طرف ایران وجود داره برای اینکه در خصوص موضوعاتی که مطرح شده بتونیم به همکاری بپردازیم.
But we have to create the conditions in order to do this. These agreements.
فقط باید ما بتونیم شرایطی را ایجاد بکنیم که این توافقات به مرحله اجرایی شدن برسه.
And in order to do that, these commission were planned. There will be a delegation of Nicaragua to address its issues in Iran.
دوستان منتظر بازدید یک هیئت از طرف نیکاراگوئه باشند در تهران برای اینکه این موضوعات باقی مانده در اونجا مورد بررسی و توافق قرار بگیره.
Therefore, we will be ready to send a delegation as soon as we agreed on the date, and that there will be a big improvement towards doing this, towards these agreements.
برای اینکه به دنبال سفر این هیئت زمینه برای تسریع اجرای توافقات فراهم بشه.
As I was saying yesterday, we recognized your visit as a visit that is very moving to the most committed people in the fight for sovereignty and integration of Latin America and the Caribbean.
و همونطور که دیروز ما خدمت شما گفتیم، شما در این سفر منطقه‌ایتون دارید از کشورهایی بازدید میکنید که بیشترین تعهد را برای دفاع از استقلال و اتحاد منطقه آمریکای لاتین دارند.
Your visit to Venezuela marks the way.
بازدید شما از ونزوئلا به طور مشخص یک مسیر جدیدی را ترسیم میکنه.
President Chavez, it was a fighter, a revolutionary fighter that gave a big growth to the unity of cooperation within all people.
همونطور که آقای پرزیدنت چاوز هم که یک مبارز و یک انقلابی واقعی بودند، با اقدامات خودشون کمک بزرگی به اتحاد و همکاری در این منطقه کردند.
It was a battle that it was sort of facing the aggressiveness of the imperialism, to the concurrency of the imperialism, to the coup d'etats that were there as the one they gave against Chavez, and the people rescued him. And afterwards, they tried to murder President Nicolás Maduro.
مبارزات آقای چاوز که الان صحبتش کردیم همیشه مواجه بود با هجمه ها و توطئه های امپریالیسم و کودتا از علیه امپریالیسم، کودتایی که علیه کودتا توسط امپریالیسم علیه ایشون که با شکست مواجه شد. ملت خنثی کردن اون توطئه را و بعد اون در دوران آقای مادورو هم تلاش کردن برای ترور ایشون.
And also the strengthening of the sanctions against the Republic of Venezuela, stealing the stealing of the U.S. government and Europeans have done to the people of Venezuela, stealing its goods and services that are part of the sovereign states.
تشدید تحریم ها علیه جمهوری بولیواری ونزوئلا غارت دارایی‌های این کشور در خارج از کشور که متعلق به ملت ونزوئلا هستند که توسط ایالات متحده آمریکا و اتحادیه اروپا مورد غارت قرار گرفته.
And as you said before, the blockade, it is a blockade. It is a big blockade that does not allow Venezuela not even to extract their own wealth. And its solidarity, its bravery that have been with the people throughout the fights for his rights, his legitimate rights.
تحریم‌های وحشیانه علیه ونزوئلا اعمال کردند که حتی امکان استخراج منابع و ثروت‌های طبیعیشون را هم ازشون سلب کردند و مبارزه و کمک شجاعانه شما بود که به اونها کمک کرد بتونن این حق مشروع و طبیعی خودشون را ازش استفاده بکنن.
And now you're going towards Cuba, towards a revolution, a country that for more than 60 years has been resisting against imperialism.
جمهوری کوبا هستید به یک کشوری با ملتی قهرمان و انقلابی قهرمانانه که به مدت بیش از 60 سال مقاومت کرده در برابر امپریالیسم.
And you in this occasion have come here to express your solidarity towards the people, towards these brave people as Venezuelan people, the people of Bolivar, the Cuban people, the people of Martí, Fidel, Raúl, and now with the President Miguel Díaz-Canel and the Nicaraguan people.
شما با آمدنتون به این منطقه اظهار همبستگی کردید با ملت‌های قهرمان، مبارز و شجاع این منطقه، ملت ونزوئلا که میراثدار قهرمانی چون سیمون بولیوار هستند، ملت کوبا که ملت قهرمانانی چون خوسه مارتی، فیدل کاسترو و راول کاسترو هستند و ملت نیکاراگوئه، کشوری که در اون ملت خودشون رئیس جمهور خودشونن.
Thanks, dear President. Thanks to your people. Thanks to your brave people. Thanks to his people. Today we strengthen the relationships of these people of Venezuela, Cuba and Nicaragua.
رئیس جمهور برادر عزیز، از شما خیلی تشکر میکنیم، از ملت شجاع و قهرمان شما تشکر میکنیم. قدردان شما و قهرمانان و شهدای شما هستیم که امروز به اینجا تشریف آوردید، به این منطقه سفر کردید برای تقویت روابط و دوستی با ملت‌های انقلابی این منطقه، نیکاراگوئه، ونزوئلا و کوبا.
You have our greetings, our respects, and likewise to the people of Iran and his family in particular.
لطفاً سلام، محبت و احترام ما را خدمت رهبر انقلاب، ملت ایران و خانواده‌های ایرانی ابلاغ بفرمایید. متشکرم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحیم.
الحمد لله رب العالمین صلی الله علی سیدنا و نبینا محمد و آله الطاهرین.
In the name of God, that the peace of God would be with his prophets, that the peace would be with you and your family.
از اینکه امروز در آمریکای لاتین و در نیکاراگوآ هستم.
I'm very glad, I'm very pleased to be here today in Latin America and in this broader country, Nicaragua.
رئیس جمهور محترم آقای دانیل اورتگا تشکر میکنم و به مردم قهرمان و صبور و مقاوم نیکاراگوآ درود میفرستم.
Thank you for the invitation. Thank you for the invitation of the President, Daniel Ortega. And I'm thankful for your invitation. My greetings and respects to the people, to the people of Nicaragua. I honored and respects to the national heroes of Latin Americans, especially the one from Nicaragua.
در سیاست خارجی جمهوری اسلامی ایران ارتباط با کشورهای مستقل همواره مورد تأکید بوده و سفر بنده به آمریکای لاتین و کشورهای مستقل در همین راستاست.
In the foreign policy of the Republic of Iran, there has always been a central policy towards the relations with the independent countries, and in the same line this is my visit to this country right now.
و اراده ملت‌ها همواره مورد احترام ما بود و معتقدیم که اگر توجه بشه به اراده مردم در دنیا و در جای جای این کره خاکی حتما اراده و رأی مردم مورد توجه و احترام و قدرت‌های سلطه‌گر و نظام سلطه در مقابل رأی ملت‌ها خودکامگی از خودش نشان ندهد و اجازه بده که رأی مردم و اراده آنها تحقق پیدا کنه، شرایط متفاوت خواهد شد در بسیاری از مناطق در دنیا.
The will of the people and of the people of the world, it is always respected by us, and we believe that if the will of the people is dominated by the world, it will have some thoughts in the world, and imperialism will stop his dominion, and it would allow that the will of the people will be in all the world, and the human conditions in all the planet would be better and way different than it is right now.
متاسفانه امروز در دنیا نظمی حاکمه که اون نظم ناعادلانه است و نظام سلطه با فراموشی خدا و فراموشی خود به دیگران ظلم روا می‌دارد و جلوی تحقق اراده ملت‌ها رو می‌گیره.
But unfortunately, today in the world, the one who is ruling is the system and order that is unfair, and the imperialism, and by forgetting God, the people's identity is oppressing the rest of the people, and stopping the fulfilling of the will of the people.
با بی‌توجهی به اونچه که اراده خداونده و با بی‌توجهی به اونچه اقتضای عدالت هست در نظم جهانی و با بی‌توجهی به آگاهی حقیقی ملت‌ها دست به ظلم و ستم میزنند.
And all the injustices that are in the world right now that we can see, they are part of they are because they have not listened to the will of God and to the principle of justice in the current order that we have right now and in the conscience of the people. There have been military interventions, and as well the threats, the sanctions are the measures that it use in order to pressure the sanctions. But the persistence of the people and the search for independence, for freedom, neutralizes amazing stop and setback. This is the reality of today, the reality that we're seeing in Latin America and a lot of countries of the region. Towards resistance of these people, they have rejected the intervention of the imperialism and the demands of the United States.
و کشورهای مستقل رقم خواهد خورد.
Without questions, the new world order will be established in favor of the country resistance and in favor of the independent countries. The relationship between the independent countries and to take into advantage its mutual capacity is very important.
اتحادی رو ایجاد کنه که هم تحریم ها رو خنثی بکنه و هم بر ظرفیت این کشورهای مستقل بیفزاید.
The unity and integration within these countries of Latin America and with other countries of other regions, whatever region of the world, will have a positive impact to consolidate the integration and neutralize the sanctions as well.
مذاکراتی با هم داشتن و به تفاهم‌هایی رسیدن برای نوع تبادل ظرفیت‌ها و استفاده از امکانات دو کشور برای ارتقاء سطح روابط.
Our fellows with its presidents, they have talked and they have had some agreements in order to define the time of interchange and capacities that we are going to have in order to rise the level of cooperation between the countries.
تجاری و اقتصادی بین دو کشور.
The agreements that are more important are regarding the trade and the cooperation in the economic and trade.
تبادل تجربیات دو کشور در علم و فناوری است.
And also we have made agreements with the interchange of experiences regarding science and technology.
پیشرفت‌های بسیار خوبی در حوزه علم و فناوری داشته به نحوی که امروز میتوان ایران رو ایران پیشرفته و فناور معرفی کرد.
La República Islámica de Irán, a pesar
The Republic of Iran, in spite of all the sanctions and threats, have achieved big steps regarding the technology and the science, and today we can say that Iran is a very advanced and ecological country. We have the will to share our experiences with our friendly countries, with our friendly and brother countries. Therefore, one of the important areas of cooperation between Nicaragua are the areas of science and technology.
جمهوری اسلامی رو با کشورهای دوست و همسایه و کشورهای منطقه صدور خدمات فنی مهندسی تعریف کردیم. نیروهای مجرب و کارآزموده‌ای هستند که می‌توانند در کشورها نقش بسیار مهمی در جهت گره‌گشایی از مسائل فنی و مهندسی در حوزه‌های مختلفی داشته باشند. لذا یکی از همکاری‌های ما با کشورهای دوستمون و با کشور نیکاراگوآ صدور خدمات فنی مهندسی خواهد بود.
One of the areas of cooperations that we have talked about with our neighbors and with our friendly countries is the exportation of services of engineering. Our experts are capable of solving the issues that are required to be solved, and these are the areas in which we can work with Nicaragua.
تفاهم شد برای همکاری بین ایران و نیکاراگوآ.
The area of health and medicines is one of the most important areas in which we have had agreements in order to cooperate.
جمهوری اسلامی ایران برداشته در حوزه سلامت و تجربیات خوب و نیروهای ارزشمندی داره و به ویژه در حوزه دارو کارهای بزرگی در کشور ما انجام گرفته و حتما میتونه موضوع تبادل تجربیات و ظرفیت‌های بین ما و نیکاراگوآ و کشورهای دوستمون باشه.
And we have made big steps in Iran regarding health. We have excellent experiences regarding this, and we have personnel with a great expertise in the subjects, especially in the pharmaceutical issue area. We believe that this would be one of the areas in which we should have good cooperations and interchange with you.
دولت نیکاراگوآ به خاطر میزبانی خوبشون و استقبال از هیئت ایرانی تقدیر و تشکر میکنم.
I would like to thank the President Daniel Ortega, to the Vice President, to all the authorities and the delegation of Nicaragua for its gentleness and for his hospitality and for his reception.
و آمدن به ایران و بازدید از مراکز مهم به ویژه از مراکز علم و فناوری دعوت میکنم.
And I would like to invite you to visit Iran
conocer de cerca nuestro país
so
y
you
hacer
can
visitas
meet our
a
country and
nuestros
visit
centros y lugares más
visit
importantes,
our
sobre todo
places, our most
sitios
important
relacionados con
places,
ciencia
especially
y
those places
tecnología.
regarding with science and technology.
ملت مقاوم نیکاراگوآ آرزوی موفقیت و بهروزی دارم.
Para presidente Ortega y
To
la
the President
resistente
Ortega
pueblo de
and
Nicaragua,
the
les
resistant
deseo
people of Nicaragua,
salud y mucho éxito.
I
از
wish
خداوند
you
متعال
health and a lot of
مسئلت دارم
success.
که برای ملت مقاوم و پارسای نیکاراگوآ بهترین ها رو مرحمت فرمایید.
Y pido a Dios
And I
Todopoderoso
for God
los
Almighty
mejores
the
éxitos y
best
logros
success
para
and
el resistente y
achievements
noble
to
pueblo de
the
Nicaragua.
resistant people of Nicaragua.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Dios ha de querer que
God-
visitemos nuevamente
God want us to be together
خدا
today.
امکانش فراهم بشه که مجددا بتونیم کشور شما ایران را بازدید بکنیم ازش.
Usted sabe que tuvimos el privilegio de estar
You
en
know
Irán
that we have the privilege to be in
el año
Iran in
2007.
the
ما
2007.
اولین باری که فرصت دیدار از شما بازدید از کشور شما رو داشتیم سال 2007 بود.
Tuvimos la oportunidad
We have the opportunity
rendirle homenaje
to honor
al mausoleo
the mausoleum of the
Ayatollah Khomeini, el fundador
mausoleum of the
la
founder
República de
of
Irán.
the Republic of
اینجا
Iran.
ما افتخار ادای احترام در آرامگاه حضرت امام خمینی بنیانگذار انقلاب اسلامی را نیز داشتیم.
Y luego
Afterwards,
nuestro
our
encuentro con la población,
meeting with the people,
con las autoridades
with the
iraníes,
authorities,
fueron realmente
were really
encuentros de
were
amistad,
were really
Encuentros de
nice
pueblos hermanos.
meetings. There were meetings
Y
of
estamos seguros que
of brothers,
esta no será la última
and we are
visita
very
suya a
sure that
Nicaragua.
this will not be the last
Y nosotros
visit of you
pronto estaremos
towards
allá
Nicaraguans,
en
and
Irán.
we'll be there
و اونجا
soon.
با دیدارهای خوبی هم داشتیم در اون سفر. دو ملت با هم دیگه آشنا شدن و تبادلات خوبی داشتیم و من مطمئنم که این آخرین بازدید شما از نیکاراگوئه نخواهد بود و ما هم به زودی به کشور شما سفر خواهیم کرد.
Gracias. Gracias. Bueno,
Well,
vamos a acompañarlo
we are going
vamos
to
para el aeropuerto, ya imagino.
دیگه
Let's
الان
go to the
فرودگاه دیگه
airport.
ما همراهی بکنیم شما را به بدرقتون میکنیم الان.
خیلی متشکرم. من از همراهی جناب عالی، از استقبال شما. من چون دوستانم اعلام کردم که آقای رئیس جمهور محترم کوبا منتظر حضور ماست، باید جلسه رو ترک بکنم و شما رو به خداوند متعال بسپارم و عازم بشم برای فرودگاه جهت رفتن به کوبا.
Como me han informado que el
as I have been
presidente
told
del
that
país
the
hermano Cuba nos
president
está
of
esperando
Cuba
allá,
is
entonces
waiting
tengo
for
que
us in
despedirme
Cuba.
de usted
Therefore, shall
y
say
pronto
goodbye
salir hacia
to
Cuba.
you and go to Cuba.
متشکرم. اسناد رو هم امضای اسناد firma de los acuerdos.
The signing of the agreements.
We have been watching live the closing ceremony of President. We were watching live the closing ceremony of President Raíces' official visit to the nation of Nicaragua as part of his Latin American tour. We're seeing in the images foreign ministers of both nations signing the agreements of which both heads of states addressed and announced during their speeches in this closing ceremony. The agreements are mainly in the area of trade and exchanges of bilateral cooperation, and also in terms of the justice systems to cooperate to enhance both the systems of both nations, as well as in the health sector, especially with the production and acquisition of medicines. Both heads of states during their speeches announced that the relationships between the nations, between Iran and Nicaragua, are at the highest level, and that with these signings they are raising in the category, and they are going way higher and stronger than they were before. They are going to continue working, and the foundations are being prepared to continue working together and enhance cooperation in the future to face the challenges that arises in the international arena. Both states have been clear that through unity they have to work together to neutralize the sanctions. We must remember that both nations are subject to unilateral coercive sanctions imposed by the US and its allies, which hamper the economy of both nations. But despite of all this, both governments have worked together, and they're trying to continue working together to enhance the quality of life of their peoples, which is the objective of this Latin American tour that the president of Iran is carrying out. He did a first stop in Venezuela with the signing of several agreements and memorandums of understandings, and then he later arrived here in Nicaragua, where both delegations held important meetings to reach these agreements that are being signed today, as we are seeing in images being signed by the foreign ministers of both nations, the foreign minister of Nicaragua and the foreign minister of Iran. Both heads of states highlighted the importance of these agreements that have been reached here, but they were clear that this is not the end. This is not just they're going to sign here and no. They established that they're going to set a roadmap to create a delegation to continue working in enhancing the bilateral trade agreements between them for the benefit of their people to continue increasing. And President Ortega announced that a delegation was being created that will travel to Tehran when the date is agreed upon. They are still pending to reach that agreement, that they're going to set a date and a moment for that delegation to travel this time to Tehran to continue consolidating the bilateral relations between both nations. These are the images that we're seeing, the signing of the agreements that were announced by both heads of states during their speeches in this closing ceremony of President Raisi's official visit to the Central American nation, a closing ceremony that is being held in the iconic Olof Palme Convention Center. It's a convention center named after the Swedish Prime Minister of then. Important tour that the President of Iran is carrying out. First with a stop in Venezuela, and from Nicaragua, he announced at the end of his speech that the President of Cuba, Miguel Diaz-Canel, was waiting for their arrival to continue with this policy of solidarity, friendship, and international cooperation. From here, the Iranian President will go to the airport, of course, and then will travel to Havana to a final stop of his first Latin American tour since assuming the presidency of Iran. We continue to see that there are numerous agreements that are being signed today. They are being signed here at the convention center, Olof Palme. Agreements that are set to put a new future in the direction of both nations in terms of cooperation and strengthening their bilateral trade. Both heads of states have been clear that they have to stand together to face the foreign threats that lure upon both Iran and Nicaragua, which is the imperialist policies of the United States mainly and its allies that try to destabilize both nations in order to be able to plunder its people and its resources and to exercise their control and hegemony over these nations. But both heads of states today and yesterday and throughout these times they have been clear that neither will stand by and let this happen, that both nations are strong and both peoples are ready to stand against these imperialist threats. presidents are standing up, and I believe they are now leaving. They will prepare to leave the convention after the signing of the agreements. But before leaving, we're seeing the images that President Raisi is presenting Daniel Ortega with a gift. A gift as a symbol of the friendship and solidarity and brotherhood that has been strengthened here today with this official visit from the Iranian president to Nicaragua. Now both heads of states are moving. They're probably going to go and get on the cars to head in the direction of the airport, from where President Raisi will travel to Havana to finish his first Latin American tour. We're watching live the closing ceremony of President Raisi's official visit to Nicaragua. In it, both heads of states announced important bilateral agreements reached to enhance cooperation in different fields between both nations. The first is the creation of the Joint Intergovernmental Commission for Economic and Commercial Cooperation and Scientific and Technological Exchange between Nicaragua and Iran, to be held in Tehran. The second memorandum of understanding deals with the powers of the Supreme Court of Justice of both countries, while the third addresses issues related to medicine and medical laboratory and pharmaceutical supplies between the ministries of health of both nations. All of this for the benefit of the development of both countries through free trade agreements. The Nicaraguan head of state also announced the establishment of a roadmap to eventually reach a free trade agreement between both nations. Ortega said the foundation was being set to increase cooperation and reach more agreements in the future. President Ortega acknowledged that both sides have the will to create this foundation. President Ibrahim Raisi, on the other hand, welcomed Nicaragua's hospitality and the will of both nations to continue deepening their bonds of friendship and stand side by side in the face of foreign imperialist threats. The Persian head of state said that with these agreements signed today, both nations raised the level of exchanges and cooperation. President Raisi said Iran is ready to share all the developments and advancements made by Iran in different fields, despite unilateral coercive measures. The Iranian president will now travel to Cuba, the final stop in his Latin American tour. Stay tuned with TeleSUR English for more updates in upcoming news briefs.